Imagine you are a Zen master from China. You have practiced for decades. Your lineage traces back 1,000 years. You travel to the United States hoping to bring this tradition to more people. You quickly discover that to enter any mainstream institution, hospitals, schools, corporations, you must first obtain an MBSR instructor certification. MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction, is something an American developed several decades ago by extracting concepts from Buddhist practice, stripping out the ethics, and repackaging the remainder as a transferable technique. Which means your lineage doesn't count. You must obtain certification in a simplified version of your own tradition before you're permitted to enter the spaces they have built. This isn't a compliance issue. It's a question of who holds the language. Whoever defines what mindfulness means owns the thing. How did this happen? Decades ago, an American named John Kabat-Zinn extracted the concept of mindfulness from Buddhist practice, secularized it, and packaged it into a technique that could be deployed in hospitals, corporations, and the military. It grew into an enormous industry. Headspace, Calm, corporate meditation programs, school mindfulness curricula, and a mindfulness economy valued at over $1 billion. This process had one essential move: the removal of ethics. The core of Buddhism is not meditation. It is the Eightfold Path. Mindfulness is only one branch of that path, and not the most central one. The real skeleton is right action. Are your behaviors causing harm? Right livelihood. What do you do for money, and does it hurt others? Right speech. Are the words you speak honest? These are the parts that ask you to look outward, to ask outward questions. Together, they form the ethical foundation of the entire system. Kabat-Zinn cut out mindfulness and removed that skeleton. What remained was flesh without bone. A tool with no ethical foundation can serve any purpose. So this happened. The United States military began incorporating mindfulness into sniper training. The goal was to help soldiers stay calm during a shot, undistracted, unshaken. One of Buddhism's most fundamental precepts is the prohibition against killing, and the mindfulness extracted from Buddhism, stripped of its ethics, was ultimately used to help people kill more efficiently. Absurd, of course, but internally consistent, because that tool no longer belonged to that ethics. The structure of this, however, is not new. This logic wasn't invented in America. The West has a long history of extraction. Wheat was domesticated in the Middle East and Central Asia. Noodles originated in China. Tomatoes traveled from the Americas to Europe, were recombined, and became Italian pizza, spreading globally through franchise chains. India's Rauwolfia serpentina was extracted by Western pharmaceutical companies, its active compound isolated, named reserpine, patented, and sold back to global markets as a hypertension drug. Yoga left India, passed through American gyms and athleisure brands, and became an industry worth tens of billions of dollars. The same logic running on repeat. Find something of value, cut it from its cultural context, strip away its origins and background, repackage it, capitalize it, sell it. But mindfulness is the most refined execution of this logic the United States has produced. Why refined? Because it isn't selling a product, it's selling a way of understanding yourself. Your problems originate inside you. They must be managed by you. The outside disappears as the source of problems. Everything becomes your personal project. Who, in the end, does this get sold to? Not the working poor. A Headspace annual subscription costs real money. An MBSR course costs far more. The bottom cannot afford premium inner peace, not the top. The people building this know what they're building. It gets sold to the middle class. The middle class is anxious enough, solvent enough, and positioned in exactly the place most likely to believe the problem is themselves. Far enough from the bottom to feel they should be doing better. Far enough from the top to be unable to move any structural lever. They are the most precisely calibrated target. And what mindfulness tells them is, your anxiety, exhaustion, and emptiness are the result of poor attention management. Look inward, adjust yourself, stay calm. Amazon installed meditation pods in its warehouses, branded Amazen. Workers could step inside for 2 minutes of mindfulness, recalibrate, and return to work. No one asked, is there something wrong with the work itself? I'm not saying meditation has no value. I'm not saying looking inward is a bad thing. I'm saying contemplation with an ethical foundation and meditation stripped of ethics are two entirely different things. The first helps you see clearly the relationship between yourself and the world, including its injustices. The second only helps you remain calm inside the injustice. When a tool only teaches you to adapt, never to question, the first question to ask is, who designed this tool, and what do they need you to adapt to? When something tells you to look inward, pause for a moment. Ask, who doesn't want you looking out?